Yo, Amina. After the fun of the 50th episode, I'm back reviewing a single game today, a spin-off from the ever-popular Dragon Quest franchise, the first in the Slyrim Mori Mori series that debuted on the Game Boy Advance in 2003, and it was also one of the newly formed Square Enix's earlier games. Featuring perhaps Dragon Quest's most iconic enemy, in this game you play as a slime, Slyrin, who is tasked to save his town after it is assailed by the Tail Gang. Who is the Tail Gang? Why did they do it? And where have they kidnapped your family, friends and townsfolk to? With a simple but incredibly charming narrative full of whimsy and humour, it is also a game that, though very popular in Japan, was never released outside of it, and to date there has been no translation patch. It does seem though that someone has disassembled it and done a basic machine translation from what I can see, but that is fraught with issues. The game starts out with Slyrin, his siblings and a friend playing a prank, smashing up a load of pots by using your innate stretchiness to shatter them. You are challenged to do this minigame, and on doing so you win the chance to use a transformation rod that has been snuck out from Slyrin's father's keep. As a result, Slyrin transforms into a mischievous Momonja, or Platypunk as they're called outside of Japan. But the foursome are busted by Slyrin's mum. As punishment, Slyrin has to stay as a Momonja for the night. This, however, turns out to be a bit of luck, because it's that very night that the Tail Gang invades Suran town and everyone except Slyrin is kidnapped owing to his disguise. Your duty and objective is to find and return all 100 captured slimes to the town and enable its restoration, whilst taking down the various bosses of the Tail Gang and eventually the big boss Don Mojaru. To do so, you will need to traverse 3 key locations which extend as you follow the story and complete objectives, the main one being freeing slimes from their captivity. As the number of freed tots up, you'll receive cute letters from them giving thanks as well as advice for your next steps. In addition, you will need to find 3 tablets that contain the secret of the island, as well as other optional side quests that are very simple in nature. Your basic attack is to stretch in any direction to attack, bust open, knock down, obtain pickups, and so forth, as well as your jump. Indeed, there is of course a charge attack, which at one point on rescuing your dad, he teaches you a necessary special attack that will open up previously closed off areas. Each time you enter a dungeon or area, there is a timer of sorts. You need to exit the area before nightfall, otherwise you're as good as dead. Keep an eye on the timer in the top left, and as the area's coloration begins to signal dusk, it's time to hitch a ride or escape the area back to the safety of your hometown. You can carry stuff including your rescued fellow slimes on your head, as well as other objects which are necessary to complete certain side quests and parts of the story, along with a knight that gives you a melee attack with their sword when balanced on your head. As you rescue your fellow slimes, your obstructions that have been dropped all over the town and its environs are cleared. So for example, if a spiky looking mine thing has 45 ST or 45 stone written on it, it's not actually how heavy it is, more that once you have rescued 45 companions that the obstruction will be cleared, either in opening up a new area, a warp point or a previously off-limits point of entry, which follows the story as it develops. You will also need to rescue 3 of the ninja slimes that are searching for clues of the whereabouts of the 3 stone tablets. These open up the extensions to the 3 main areas of the game outside of the town. On rescuing them, you'll need to return to their secret hideout and challenge each of them to receive their special advice. This is mostly about opening up secondary areas of the 3 main zones. For this, you'll need to know the 3 kanji characters that each ninja is associated with, but they are also colour-coded, so if you can remember the colour of the ninja slime's hachimaki or headband, that's the hidden door you need to enter through. On getting the 3 stone tablets, the message revealed is still somewhat incomplete and is suggested that your grandma knows the whereabouts of the 4th one to complete it. On finding her, a secret underground shrine is opened up. At the end of this, you will face off against the big boss Don Mojaru, who on being defeated reveals his intentions in a ridiculously funny ending that is hinted at earlier in the game. But the end isn't quite there, as your good buddy Mihon interrupts the supposed end credits as you're 1 slime short of finishing the game. Naturally, there is also a shop in the game where you can spend your hard-earned collected cash, but be warned, if you die in the field, your cash will be raided on continuing, so there are some penalties for continuing in this game. Judicious use of the save file will help prevent this. There are also a few nods to Square Enix's merger in this game, so look out for Sid Moja, for example, as well as running over cactus balls. The developers really had their heads screwed on for this one, bringing the world of Enix's Dragon Quest and Square's Final Fantasy together in a subtle but charming way. There's that word again. Charming. All in all, this is a beautiful, well-playing, fairly easy and incredibly endearing and inventive first outing for the Slime Mori Mori series. Sound-wise, it's typical of most GBA fare, in that it's a little bit repetitive, but it's actually rather good, and I love the voice beatboxing that appears as part of the soundtrack, so all in all, for the system, I'd rate it as above average in that regard. The sequel on the DS did get a North American release as well as a Japanese one, though the third and to date final installment on 3DS was Japan only. This has, however, received a translation patch. So long as you're willing to spend 97 million quid or whatever it might be on a crusty ass 3DS on eBay, or whatever other ridiculous figure they now fetch. Yeah! I can't deny, see, I've calmed down now. A big part of the charm of this game is its humour, and understanding Japanese is key to that, but overall the game is playable by anyone, and the wayfinding is generally well enough signposted, though I would say that the written dialogue is at points key to being able to figure out what you're meant to do next. Overall, I'd rate the Japanese level in this game as conversational, but remember, this was a game also aimed at younger children, so some of the language may go over your head, even if you're JLPT N2 level, because the nature of that test's target language is much more business-orientated or more formal Japanese. That said, if you're learning Japanese and around N3 or above level, give this game a go, as you'll pick up lots of really useful vocabulary and grammar that often appears in games. There is some use of kanji in this game, but it's all pretty legible. There's also lots of yakuwari-go, or role language in this game reflecting the characters, but anyone who plays games in Japanese will be used to this, and there is also some Kansai dialect too. Overall, I'd rate this game as great, 4 stars out of 5 on the rating scale. This is absolutely one of the best games on a GBA that wasn't released outside of Japan. It sold well and went on to be part of the Ultimate Hit series, Japan's Player's Choice series. My only criticism is that it's a little bit easy overall, but the inventiveness of the mechanics, the story with its humour and the presentation completely override that niggle, and it's a game that can be completed in around 12 hours. There are 2 save files which can be accessed in-game through speaking to the Padre in the town's church, as well as the quick save function through select left and right shoulder buttons. Even better is that due to the game's ubiquity, it's cheap, with cartridge-only copies selling for around under 1,000 yen. To finish off with, I took a look at the text dump from this game, and it's clear that they would need technical support to translate a game such as this. It's not just a case of taking the sentences and rewriting them. There's a lot of tokenization or variables used, and that's a bit too complex for me. But this is a game that is begging for a translation to open it up to a wider audience. But even without that, I hope my overview has given you a bit of a steer of how to play the game, and there's also an excellent guide on GameFAQs, should you wish to look that up. If I was to sum this up, this really is a game you don't want to slink away from. As always, like, subscribe and all of that shit, and also check out this rad Rubbish Heap merch, available worldwide on Redbubble and Amazon. See the links below for how to purchase. I've been Saki Endo, and this has been a Rubbish Heap. Ja ne!
Game Boy Advance.
さらわれた仲間たちを救うため、今冒険の旅が始まる。伸びて弾けてモリモリ乗せろ。スライムもりもりドラゴンクエスト衝撃のしっぽ団好評発売中。